Hey guys, so you're back with Parentcast. I'm E Minor.
I'm Victory.
I'm Dom.
I'm Curtis.
And today we are going to get into the question of, do you think that a person who has no kids would be more successful than someone who has kids or a kid? Dun, dun, dun.
I'll start. I think it's very much subjective because before I had kids, I didn't have as much determination as I do now because I have a purpose and a reason.
Yeah.
At the same time, someone without kids has more time to pursue their dreams. So it's very much down to that individual as opposed to that individual with or without kids. It's just what they want for their own life. So it's quite it's got to be very subjective.
And also not just what they want, but what they have at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I have had moments where I've been really fortunate where people have been around me where they can support me in terms of babysitting, which is the main thing that I need. Like, for the past God knows how many years, all I've asked for Christmas or birthdays, I don't need your money, I don't need your lipstick, I don't need anything. Just give me an IOU for a babysitting day. Like, literally, that's all I need. Because I have the determination and I have the... But it's like, even if I have a day where I collect my son and I'm at home from 4 p.m. and I'm trying to work on my phone, sometimes you can't when you're getting asked for juice every 2 minutes. Or,
100%.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have to watch the dinners and it's difficult. So, yeah, I don't particularly think that we can say someone should be more successful because they don't have kids, because there's plenty of people that don't and aren't doing much.
Agreed.
But I think it is definitely about your resources.
No. Do you believe that your son gives you that more of a drive as well?
Yeah.
To be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm not an academic. Like, I didn't go to uni. I went to college, did music. I went to dance school.
Yeah.
So I'm like a creative through and through.
Yeah.
So my son, because he is so, like, he's just like a mini version of me.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me more, because he's always on my Instagram and stuff. People, like, they just love him. They don't care about me. They're like, Aries. Like, so it's like, yeah, man, I really need to, like, and when I'm watching Ryan all the time and knowing how much money that kid's making, it makes me more, because this is like, we're lucky that we can make money from our phones.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it drives me absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. So, like myself, I had my son when I was in college.
Oh, wow.
So it's one of the ones is like, well, I need to finish this to make sure he's got a good future. I didn't go uni. I went straight into apprenticeship afterwards. So that was always my drive. Having a child was my drive.
Yeah,
that makes
that's it.
sense. If I didn't have him, God knows where I'll be right now.
Yeah.
You've got to kind of question it. But
Yeah.
like you said, I think it's all that subjective down to the person.
Yeah.
So some kids make people more motivated. Some people don't want to have kids so they can do what they have to do.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree with you. I think that I'm on the same ballpark with that as well. Like, in terms of, as soon as I gave birth to my son, I was like, okay, my life has proper purpose now.
Yeah.
I need to, and he just came out. He was just so beautiful. I was like, I was even joking to the hospital. I was like, so if I take him home, you're not gonna call the police or anything? Okay, take him home. And since then, that day, I was like, nah, okay, I need to sort myself out. I feel like, growing up, I was very, like, grateful in terms of, like, anything I asked for, I would get, like, you know. And then when you have that mentality growing up and you become older, you then become a bit slackish. You don't really, you know, strive for things that you should, you know. I feel like I was like that. And then as soon as my little man came, and I was a very low point in my life as well. So I was studying law in Portsmouth, and it's one of those things whereby, you know, Nigerian parents are like, if you don't do accounting or lawyer or this, it's no job whatsoever. So, and I knew that wasn't my call. I knew that from day dot, but I just did it anyway, just to, you know, please the parents, and then found out that actually that's not what I wanted to do. Ended up failing law, so I was in a very, very low point in my life. I was like, what do I even do? Like, what's my purpose? What do I do? And then when I then fell pregnant and gave birth to my son, I was like, okay, now I need to fix up. So like you said, again, it's very subjective. I feel like had I not had my son, I still would have pursued what I wanted to, but maybe in a different way, and maybe not in a more passionate way than I do today. So, yeah.
I fully agree with that. Do you ever sometimes think where you would have been at if you never had your child so early?
I would have been popping. I would have been popping. I would have looked good.
I would be here in Bali one day. Oh, bitch, where are you today? Oh, yeah, I'm just in Sydney. And then the day after, I'm in America.
Oh, my God. Do you know how much I wanted to backpack? You don't understand. Yeah, I would have been... It's mad. I was about to say I would have been smiling. I'm still smiling every single day.
Yeah.
That is mad. I was literally about to say I would have been smiling. No, it's mad. But yeah, I do think about how things would have gone.
Do you know, I was always the person before kids that said, I want to do this. I always knew what I wanted to do. But I never did anything to do it, to get to that point. Once I had children, I was like, I still want to do those things, but now I have to, because if I go hungry, it doesn't really matter. I can only blame myself. But if they go hungry, they're looking at me. Yeah. So, really and truly, I need to put these steps in place to reach this goal so that they have what they need. And times when I look at times now of if I'm struggling in whether it be mentally, emotionally, financially, or whatever else, it's like I have a purpose to get better or to do better.
Yeah.
So that's the benefits of being a kid, of being a parent when it comes to being successful. Is that your driver? You just gotta look and they're tugging your trousers or they're crying or whatever. And it's like, you're annoying me right now, but I need to feed you, so I'm gonna go and be successful. But when you're by yourself and you're sitting on your phone and you ain't got no kids and you've got time, you're gonna go raving or whatever else, your drive is still there, but it's not as invigorating. It doesn't necessarily always mean it's gonna be more invigorating, more intense than someone who has got kids. So it's down to the individual really. But I feel like that attitude isn't quite common. People assume that people without kids have more time. They do. Doesn't mean that they have more drive. So
agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. Mate, I'm gonna be thinking about this one when I look.
It's one of them ones sometimes, you know, when you're at night time and you're just thinking that, if I didn't have you, I might have just been here. But then you might have actually been down here.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like that. I believe children sometimes they come around at the right time.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like no matter what's going on in your life, a child always comes at the right time to kind of snap you back into reality.
I think I've mentioned this on Parentcast before, but when I found out I was pregnant, I was in an audition. I got down like to be Nala in The Lion King in the Lyceum, and it was something that I'd worked towards for so long. I was in one of the final auditions in one of our dance auditions, and I was like, and I felt sick. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, yeah, girl, you're pregnant. Your life is done. And it was like, that is what I thought. When you have a child, you can't be successful. Like, no one's going to want you. No one's going to book you. No one's going to want to hire you because you've got a child. And there's loads of other 23-year-olds that will do the job without having to worry about childcare.
And the thing is, in a sense, that's the truth and the reality, but in another sense, it's not necessarily the truth. Like, because clearly you can still do your thing. Do you know what I mean? But it's like a stigma. Once you're a parent, you no longer think about yourself. But you think about yourself less, but you still have to consider yourself, because if you don't think about the things that you want to achieve, then your life doesn't become yours anymore. Then it's like, what is your purpose? Other than your children, you still have a purpose for yourself. And without that balance of, I'm going to do this for me, there's no balance at home then, because if you're constantly neglecting yourself, you become resentful to those around you. It makes their life more horrible, or not horrible, but their quality of life decreases just because of your lack of balance through not focusing on yourself. So
that is
it's important that people, slightly off subject, but if people do want to achieve things, that they shouldn't just say, well, I've got kids now, so I've just got to be a parent. No, you don't. You still can do those things because your kids sleep at some point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I keep on saying that to people. Like a lot, I feel like a lot of, particularly mothers, they feel guilty for doing stuff once they've had a child.
Right, okay.
Like even if it's not like related to work or whatever, like they feel like they have to just be like. I went straight back to work as soon as I had my child. A lot of mothers like, oh no, they need you for the first year and a half. Like. You don't need to stop what you're doing just because there is someone who's dependent on you, because as long as you know they're in safe hands, you should be doing what life doesn't stop.
Because the thing is, you stop, and what are you then teaching that child as they grow up?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So there's that side of it as well. Because my kids see me putting my suit on, going to work. To them, that's now normal. If you're constantly just being not that there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mum or dad or whatever else, but what you do direct effect on what your kids think is right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a person that wants to bring out kids who are going to be successful and determined and academic or creative or whatever else, you have to show them some sort of light of it in your own behaviours. You know, so
I used to be one of those people that I'd always be very like you said, I'd always feel a bit like guilty for going out with friends or partying or doing stuff. It's like when I had my kid and I was like, am I allowed to do this kind of stuff? Should I feel bad? And then like you said, I was thinking, wait, I shouldn't. And I think it's important as well to have people, like to be that kind of person whereby you're a working mum or you're working dad and to strive to be good, because I feel like it then helps people in the future. When you're talking about you work doing your stuff for Lion King, my head just went to this ballet dancer. Her name was Darcy Bustle, and I believe she was pregnant as well, and she she was a ballet dancer and continued to do so up until she was about like 5-6 months pregnant, but she just kept doing it and she didn't like care, like, you know, because I'm pregnant I'm going to completely stop doing stuff. So I think when some people have like down days, or you feel like, oh, okay, maybe, you know, you kind of feel down in the dumps, it's good to kind of remember those kind of people who have been in your similar situation and how they kind of tackle it. I think that's also very important too, because we then in turn become those people that people then look up to in the future to come. So it's like a kind of circle.
No, I fully agree with that. Like back onto that you were saying, Iman, you know, like when people think, oh yeah, I'm pregnant, that's the end of the world. I was that guy, I'm not gonna lie. I thought, yeah, this is it. I got shot hard food. I gotta do on the road. That's it. It's over.
We don't suggest anyone does that if you're expecting.
Exactly. Yeah, I weren't legitimate and I did well. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, you don't. It's never at the end of the world, and you always never ever think to yourself that you are the first and you're the last, because it's not. That prime example, all of us here all had children young and all become successful. And like I said, your child will always look at you to see what they should be in life. So if they see that determination in yourself and they see that you're always going to go for it, that's how they're going to end up growing up in life.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm really grateful that like the work that I do, I've had many opportunities when my son has come to work with me, whether that's in the office, whether that's on set somewhere or whatever, and he knows, and he can say to, like, if I say, oh, I'm going somewhere, sometimes I'm going out, and he'll be like, oh, mummy, you're going to work? I'll say, no, honey, tonight I'm gonna go out with Auntie Jessica. So he understands, and I'm also trying to teach him about money. So, you know, some children, they just want, and they feel like they can just have everything. So I will have to break it down to him. Oh, okay, you want that? Well, mummy's going to have to go to work next week. And then if you've done X, Y, Z that you need to do and make sure that you make your bed in the morning, you might get a £5 at the end of the week and you can put it towards that. So now he gets it. Like, he doesn't think that the card, one time, his dad's nephew, a child, said to their parent about their credit card. The kid wanted something. The dad said, I don't have any money. He said, oh, go to the wall, go to the machine and retrieve money. And I'm saying my child can never be confused about where money comes from. It does not come from a hole in the wall. And I think that really helps them to,
of course,
realise that.
That's the truth.
That's hilarious.
The thing is that a child's outlook on life and achieving or attaining things, even if it's they want the latest toy or game for their PlayStation or whatever, their attitude on attaining that, obtaining it, is based on how you value resources and how you teach them the value of this phone isn't free. I have to pay for it every month, which requires me to work every month, which requires me to get up every day, drop you to school and then go to work. I'm not just sitting at home on my PlayStation 2. Do you know what I mean? So it's your attitude towards things that, or our attitude towards things that our kids will pick up and becomes their norms, kind of thing. So yeah, it's that's a deep question, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
So many things too. Yeah, trust me. I don't think it was that broad, but
it's nice to know that we all believe that, you know, it's not something that would stop us being successful.
Before I had kids, I would have said not having kids will make me more successful.
Yeah.
I was going to kind of just talking to the topic of like having your support system. I feel like when I talk to a lot of mums, and I always say that I'm very blessed to have a support system whereby it's like my mum almost plays dad in the role of like, because I'm being a single mum, like, so it's anytime
Me
like
too, girl.
anytime I'm like, okay, I need to go somewhere, like, you know, as I was joking with Bali earlier, literally I could say tomorrow to my mum, I want to go to Bali, and she'd be like, okay, well, I'm looking after us, and I'm gone. And I in retrospect, I suppose I did take that for granted, but these days I just cannot. I'm just so grateful. And when I talk to other mums and they then say, you know, you're so grateful, like, you know, blessed to have that. Like, it's so difficult for me to find someone. I have to get a babysitter. Sometimes that's even difficult. I feel like, do you reckon that sometimes have a part to play in terms of one's success?
Absolutely.
Like,
100%.
Absolutely. I've missed
100%.
so many opportunities because I send a text out to 10 people, and also not anyone can look after my child, as with most people. So there might be people that I know are free, but they're not looking after my child. So I will send out a message to, let's say, 6 people, whatever, really big opportunity. If them people are not free, I can't go. But that is another reason why I have to stay on top of my mental, because I know that when I know I'm missing these things and then I'm seeing the person who got it instead of me or whatever, and it gets to me because I'm like, I couldn't do it. What could I do? This is not something that he could have come with me to. This is like, it's not me. And then I'm not at a stage where I want to be. And then I'm like, is it because I haven't put the work in, or is it because things weren't in line for me?
Do you blame yourself?
Yeah, a lot of the time I do. And then a lot of the time it's annoying because I will, like, someone said to me on my Instagram, oh, you're the plug, you're always at the lit places. I'm like, excuse me, I miss out on all the lit places. Excuse me. And then I'm like, wow, do people think that I have that life where I can still do what I want? They don't realise what I'm like missing out on. So I do blame myself a lot, because then I get guilty about those times when I have had a night out in Shoreditch.
But then if you look at it, do you then say, if I had a bigger support network, then those opportunities wouldn't be missed? Do you ever think of those things? Okay.
Sometimes I would think, oh, should I have cut that person off? Should I? Maybe I should send them a text, Happy New Year. Like, but
hey, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
So
do you know what I mean?
that was that one.
And especially the ones that have children themselves. Like,
Hey, big head.
Yeah, you need friends. If you're a parent or you're a new parent, get you some friends that have got kids, because they're the ones that are most likely to be able to babysit.
Oh, that's true.
100%. It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I think a support system, support network, whatever you want to call it, is the biggest. I think without mine, I'd be lost in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
In terms of being a parent, I'd be a failure, more than likely. Because I had so my life going, kind of thing, and then it changed when obviously I'm having 2 for the price of 1. Twins, age 20. Like, twins at 20, when I'm just living life, throwing money at clubs, throwing money at whatever, and then you're having 2 kids.
I
One go.
cannot imagine.
You know what I mean? So then when it comes to also a mental health side of it, if I never had people like my mum who encouraged me to talk, who never dismissed how I felt ever, always told me that I've got a voice and I will be, that's up until now, 30 years old, that's still it still rings in my head. Without that support network, my parent inability, my ability to get up and go to work, and my ability to love is because of my support network. So I think that is very pivotal in someone who is becoming a parent, or has recently become a parent, kind of thing. That is key. It's key.
100%, I agree with that. Like, without your foundations, then you kind of, sometimes you feel like your back's against the wall. So if you haven't got that person that you can say, look, I just need 5-10 minutes to myself, then you all feel that you're going to go through it. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Kids do grow up. I do encourage when they reach 18 and they're like, you go do you.
Oh God, I'm going to Ibiza, then Las Vegas. Sick. And I enjoyed talking about that because it's like inspiring. Like, we are still parents who are still reaching higher levels of success.
They're still trying to. There's no
stops.
giving up. I mean, when I had my kids, I never thought to myself, man, these sleepless nights are killing me. But in 3 or 4 years' time, or in 5-6 years' time, I'm going to start writing a book. I'm too tired to write a book. But you don't think that when it gets to that 6th, 7th year, you're not that tired anymore, because they're growing up, like you said, and you have more time, and you learn how to juggle things around your kids' schedules and around being a dad and a mum and whatever else. Like now, my daughter's going to be 10 next month. When we're together and we're chilling, they're just doing their thing. I can sit there and do whatever writing I'm doing. I can answer my emails. I can chat to my friends that I haven't spoke to for whatever. but I'm still being a parent because they're there. I'm spending time, and then phone goes off. I'm sitting with them. We're having a movie night or whatever. You can mix and match the both, but it's all about the balance.
Yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
possible, man. It's possible.
Get yourself a good support group, network, and just keep doing what you're doing. You do not. It doesn't not mean that you're going to be less
It's not the
successful
end of the
because you've
world,
got a
man.
child, and we're all proof of that.
Exactly. Success doesn't have a time scale. I just let you know from now.
Yeah.
That's very
Amen.
That's
That
something kind
is
of-
very
yeah.
important, honestly. I see so many people, they're like, oh, I'm at this stage in my life, why haven't I got this right? I'm like, look, there's 7 billion people on this planet. Trust me, there's like, not everyone can go through the same kind of steps. It just doesn't make sense. It won't work, you know? People have their own, you know, time scale and how everything's going to happen. So, you know, God's timing, things will fall into place, and that's what I always have to. That's something I always try and like remind myself every day, especially like on days when you have like, you know, you feel a bit down. You're like, I'm not getting there yet. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there. It's like, look, just rest, relax, do what you need to do, get today sorted out. The rest will kind of follow through. So, yeah, I always wondered as well, like in terms of where this whole stigma came from, that, you know, just because you have zero responsibility, you don't have anything, so that just automatically means that you've got all this time to, you know, go on and do the things you want to do. Like, what I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because sometimes, like we were saying before, that people aren't motivated, like, you know, so
Do you know
I
what?
always wonder where it comes from.
It's I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that because I just genuinely don't know. But I think touching on what you said about success has no timing, I only learned that last year. Literally. I'm 31 next month. I learned that last year. I was on 29, coming to my 30th birthday, and I was saying all the things I said I was going to achieve that were actually possible, I didn't. I'm going to be 30 and now my life's over. But it ain't. It's not, because I still have to work. I still can be promoted. I still can start this and start that and whatever else. There's no timing on success. It's just all about resources, circumstances, your own individual things, and not to compare against the next man or woman who's already achieved it or whatever, because what did they go through?
Exactly. Everyone's story is different. It's the truth.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I always say that you're always in a competition with yourself, not other people. So you think about, how was I before? I need to be better than that. Not about this particular person online. I need to be better. No, that's when it gets toxic. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've had a good discussion on that. I mean, do you guys have any other points on it? Do you think we've touched on it all?
What was the original question again, just to make sure I haven't
Do you
missed anything?
think that a person without children would be more successful than someone who has kids or a kid?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like we covered quite a lot in that subject.
Yeah.
We covered all the other aspects that spring up for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel
We did good.
I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah.
We did
I'm
good.
pretty pleased with
You
that.
guys, please join in the conversation with us. Like, if you have anything that you think that we didn't touch on, please put it in the comments. Like, you guys are a part of the discussion too, so let us know. But yeah.